and a more traditional campaign. Run a bunch of TV ads on KLSD and get lots and lots and lots of endorsements. And Travis was able to use those endorsements against him, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
That part of the campaign was interesting, saying basically that the Hernandez team said the command staff endorses us, including Chief Carter, the current chief, who's been the police chief for 8 years and was reelected without an opponent 4 years ago. What the Griffith campaign was successful in doing is saying that we got to have change. We've got to have change.
Which change to what? The thing about the Griffith campaign that got me was they never prosecuted Carter, because prosecuting Carter would be bad because people love Frank Carter.
Yep.
So they just kind of said things are bad, but not because of Carter. They're just bad. And we need change.
Well, that was the M&M's strategy. You know what that?
No, go
means?
Ahead. What is it?
The M&M strategy is it's that chocolate candy that when you eat chocolate, you get chocolate on your hands.
Mm-hmm.
The M&M strategy is like M&M candy. They put a candy-coated shell over it, and so you don't get your hands dirty.
Mm-hmm.
So they were successful in doing is saying, allowing social comments on social media to say there's corruption here, without naming Chief Carter, and that way the campaign had clean hands, but the message still got out there on social media.
Right. So who's controlling all that?
Wow, who do you think? The Griffith campaign, of course.
So they had surrogates who were able to get dirty.
Right.
While Travis Griffith was baby Jesus. He was the anointed one.
Well, and there's nothing new about that. I mean, the campaigns do that all the time.
Right.
I've certainly done some of that in previous campaigns.
So you're saying that Griffith did run a dirty campaign?
No, I'm saying that he campaigned, and campaigns are nasty.
Right.
Politics is nasty.
When they say you can have a positive campaign, that's all BS.
Well, and they did come out and they said that at the beginning, and you and I both know that never works in the police chief race, because you split the police department, and we were talking about this earlier. The police department is now split. There is low morale, because you had to be in one camp or the other, and it's the result of having to elect a police chief every 4 years. So the department is split. There are hurt feelings. There are people that are going to leave, and that's just the result of San Angelo being the only city left that still elects a police chief. There you go.
Yeah, and Mike Hernandez might leave.
And you've seen that in the past, that the loser leaves.
Yeah. And then you also see changes in the assistant chief positions.
Mm-hmm.
And, that becomes, Griffith tried to make that part of the deal, saying all the patrol lieutenants are with me, so therefore most of the police department is with me, yada, yada, yada. But there's 7 lieutenants, and there's 2 assistant chiefs. The police chief gets to name his 2 assistant chiefs. So when you run for office, everyone does it. They have to they won't admit this publicly, but they have to promise certain people certain positions, and so they become part of their team. So you can imagine that Major Howard and Major Fincher, the 2 assistant chiefs, are gone.
Yeah, and you're right. To the newly elected chief will get to do get to set up his command staff, and that's up to him.
Yep. So there's going to be a lot of changes.
As there always is. When you have a contested race for police chief, it's just the nature of the beast.
One of the exceptions, or one of the smartest moves I saw in transition, when Tim Vasquez lost by 65 to 33% or something. It was a landslide loss in the runoff in July of 2016. When Vasquez left the police department, he said, I left my keys on my desk and closed the door and walked out. He said he never talked to anyone from the Carter administration when he left. So you were thinking there's no continuity. There's no in the transfer of power or anything.
Yeah.
And then what Carter did, which was, I think, very smart, at that time, the meet and confer contract allowed for 3 assistant chiefs instead of 2 that we have now.
Okay.
So it had the money to pay for 3 assistant chiefs. He took his 3rd assistant chief position and gave that to Robert Martinez, who was also an assistant chief for Vasquez, and that gave Carter that bridge.
Right.
Right. But you don't have the slots now to give that 3rd assistant chief to the outgoing administration. So we'll see what he does.
Well, and that's there's the race. There's what's going to happen. I guess what happens next, of course, the votes have to be canvassed, and then shortly thereafter, the new chief will be sworn in and kick off his tenure.
His tenure, which this is just a 3-year term.
Oh, that's right. This is a 3-year term.
Mm-hmm. It's a 3-year term because the city council is trying to align the police chief election and the mayoral election to be 2 years apart instead of 1 year apart. Right now, we're going right into the mayoral election now.
Right, 1 year from now.
So we're never going to be without political signs on the streets of San Angelo.
Well, yeah, I mean, you've got the presidential election up right now, and
not only that, but the Ted Cruz versus Colin Allred.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's going to be probably a pretty nasty race.
Yes, it will be.
In my opinion, you have a Republican Party that doesn't have much support for a lot of its candidates, and who knows what's going to happen. I mean, Beto came pretty close in 2018 to knocking off Ted Cruz, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, it's a unique year, and there's a lot at stake, and the political landscape is shifting in Texas, and it takes a lot of hard work to keep it there.
A lot of hard work.
Yep.
A lot of hard work.
Lots of hard work, lots of money.
Well, I think we're not going to see any changes in the statewide Republican realm until there's a failure of some sort. Either they lose control of the Texas House or Texas Senate, or they lose a governorship, or Ted Cruz loses this election. Until then, I think we're going to see infighting, and you're going to have the hard right versus the guys who just want to solve problems, and we're just, I mean, you don't even have friends in the Republican Party anymore. So if you're a Republican, you can't bond over that anymore.
Yeah, and I got an email from the Greg Abbott campaign today that said, we've won on vouchers. But then if you go down through the email, it said, well, we elected enough people, and the school voucher, school choice issue is going to be at the forefront when the legislature meets in January. But I still need more money, and I still need your help.
And there you go.
So.
And vouchers are going to be very expensive. Very expensive. But they're probably going to pass it. I think there's probably ways to go at the voucher problem without spending a boatload of money. One is the special needs budget for the public schools are required. If you have I'm going to say this wrong, but you have children with special needs, okay?
Yeah.
And you have to take care of them, whether they have they're somewhere on the spectrum of autism, or there might be a quadriplegic, and we have underfunded. We have underfunded that for like 3 sessions, so for 4 or 6 years, we have underfunded that by half. We've been spending $2 billion on it. It probably needs 4, maybe it needs 5 now.
Okay.
And one of the ideas is to take that, throw that money at the problem of solving that, but except make it a voucher program. So you could have private schools specifically designed for kids with special needs. And that could be the genesis of your voucher program. And it solves a problem that we have that we need to get solved anyway. So there's some ideas out there. I don't know how far they're going to go, because I think they just want universal vouchers now. I don't care how much it costs. We have $20 billion in the bank.
Well, and there may be some a shakeup at some of the statewide offices. Greg Abbott may have plans other than being governor of Texas after this coming legislative session, and if that happens,
So what do you think he's going to be? You think he's not on the short list for VP?
No, but he may be
Department of
looking for
Homeland
something
Security?
else. But that's not the interesting part. The interesting part is who's waiting in the wings.
Well, we know who's waiting in the wings.
I don't think you do.
There's a lot of rumors around August Pfluger.
Well, I think that you better put Ken Paxton at the head of that list.
I thought Ken Paxton was going to primary John Cornyn.
Well, we'll see.
You think Ken Paxton's going to go for governor?
Why not?
Wow. Well, that's a possibility.
Anything's possible at this point. But the next legislative session will show you a lot.
We'll see if we can get by with not appointing Democrat chairs to any of the committees. What do you think? What are the chances on that? How do you think that's going to work?
I think that we will not have Democrats as chairs of committees
Really?
in this next legislative session.
Do you think they'll get anything done?
That's hard to say with the numbers the way they are now.
I mean, and I don't know if there's really that. Maybe there's 4 seats that are up to grasp for the Democrats of the So the majority is going to stay within 3 or 4 seats of what it is now. The Republican majority is. So maybe they can get away with it.
Well, you've got to have the cooperation of the Democrats to do anything. So.
And then, Ken Paxton was on Tucker Carlson saying exactly that. So the system is designed so you have to use the other party.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
And so what they're trying to do is put a square peg in a round hole. Mm-hmm. The right wing of the Republican Party saying no Democrat chairs and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
They're trying to rewrite how the decorum of the House has been for 150, 200 years.
And the problem is the Republican caucus is not unified.
It's not,
and it's hard to get anything done with when you're infighting. So.
And the next thing they did is the Republican Party of Texas says we won't close primaries.
Oh yeah. There you go.
So what do you think of that? I mean,
Well,
your experience with the Republican Party of Texas. What do you think closed primaries will do?
I think that Reagan had the best idea in that the Republican Party needs to be a big tent party. You've got to have room for the fight to take place within the party. If you close your primaries to elect Republicans only, the Republican Party is going to shrink drastically, and the result of that will be the number of Republicans in the House will shrink as well.
And what you'll see, and the other piece of this, closing the primaries, if the Republican Party of Texas censures you, for example, Tony Gonzalez, he's a congressman down there in Del Rio, CD 23. Yep. He was censured by the Republican Party of Texas for being a liberal or whatever, being a rhino, whatever the guy has Uvalde in his in his district. He has to do something with gun control, and they got him for that. And some other things too. I mean, I've heard there's the criticisms there, but they censored him. So effectively, he could not run in a closed primary. The rule is if you're censured, you can't be a candidate.
Okay.
So that would have kicked him out of the party.
It did their unanticipated consequences.
Yeah, I wonder what happened with the. Hey, where's James go? We got. we had some craziness going on, so I hope you didn't see it. But anyway, back to San Angelo's police chief. Looks like Travis Griffith has it,
and that's what it looks like. And good ground game, a lot of organized work to get elected.
I think also he created an image that he's part of a movement. So if you join my cause of electing me police chief, you're kind of part of a movement. Mm-hmm. Whereas Mike Hernandez, it was like, well, I'm going to be a good steward, and people want to be a part of something, and so by positioning himself that way as I am part of a movement, then he was able to probably attract new voters, but certainly get people on board to win voters for him, because that's the key is not. You can't go out and earn every vote. You got to get other people to win them for you also, and by making it part of a cause. He was able to do that.
Yeah, and that's a good point. I'm still disappointed with the turnout.
The turnout was better for the runoff than it was for the
Still,
for the May 4th election.
you still got 80% of the people in San Angelo who are registered to vote that didn't vote.
That's right.
It's okay. Doesn't matter.
Well, they probably didn't know who to vote for or what the issues were. How's that for what do you call it? An arrogant view. If you don't want to vote and you want to get smart enough to vote, don't vote. That's what I say.
Freedom requires participation. You got to participate, or you wind up with a government that you don't like, that does stuff that you don't like.
Mm-hmm. Like bad roads, like building coliseums, expensive coliseums and taxing for them.
I think it's worse than that. We don't have as high a voter turnout as a state and as a nation as we should. You're taking for granted freedom and democracy, and that power to vote is a superpower. Mm-hmm. And to not use it, that's your individual say in the continuation of the Constitution, rights, and laws of the United States. And if you don't vote, I'm voting for you.
So we have 55,500 registered voters inside the city limits of San Angelo. Mm-hmm. And the last update I got, we've had 7,700 people vote.
Yes.
So we're looking at, I'm going to do my math in public. It's about 13.5%. I did that in public.
13.5%. And again, the non-voting public is that voice comes across loud and clear. Oh well.
Right. I don't know if we've gotten anything new. I don't think we have. We haven't gotten a new drop of numbers. I think we probably have one more coming. Oh yes, we do. I have the latest in here. It's not on our sheet yet. This is probably close to the final. And coming in directly from the elections office, we're looking at Travis Griffith with, he's gone up a lot. He went up 392 votes. We have 8,334 total voters. And Travis is probably won this. It's 4392, 52.7%, to Mike Hernandez's 3942, 47.3%. Once again, looks like Travis Griffith has won the election with 52.7% of the vote, 4,392. And then for Mike Hernandez, he had 47.3%, and the vote total for Hernandez was 3942. Okay. Looking at how this happened, Mike Hernandez won the absentee voting 56 to 43%. But that was only 840 votes. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then in early voting, where Mike Hernandez won last time in the May 4th election with 53%, he lost 52 to 48 on early voting. And of course, early voting had 1,470 more voters than May 4th. And then once again, it's the election day. I mean, this get out the vote operation that Travis Griffith, Lane Carter have is just freaking phenomenal. I just got to give my hats off to it. But almost 57%. He was winning election day voters by 57 to 43. So he got so far we had about 2,590. We had 2,590 vote May 4th. We've had 2,749 vote today. And when I went around and looked at all the voting places, nothing was really, busy. Yeah, and I was thinking it was going to be less. I was asking those questions, but the two big voting centers I found out through my travels today is TxDOT. Mm-hmm. They probably had 1,000 votes out of there. Yeah, and then the Angelo Bible Church on Sherwood Way. If you're heading out toward the Bluffs, it's on the right-hand side, just past the old HEB.
Where the old movie theater was.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's old. I'm not that old.
Yeah, you hadn't been here long enough.
But anyway, 2,749 voters today, and that brings the vote count out to 14.81%. 14.81% of the 56,262.
Yeah.
Look at this. This is another thing. The last one I looked at was 55,495. That was for the May 4th. So we've added registered voters.
Yep. Some voter registration has worked.
Yep. There you go. There you
Okay.
go. I don't know if this is the new stuff yet.
It is.
Yes, it is. We got the new ones out. So this is the latest we have. A lot of people don't have this yet because we are San Angelo Live. We get stuff early and we're always first to report it. And so y'all can hate us for it, or you can enjoy the fact that we're giving this information to you for free. And you can see it first here, not on KLST, not on Fox, whatever it is. You can see it on sanangelolive.com. This is the very latest. I would say we have probably another, I think that's probably it. That's pretty close to it. I don't think we have any more because when we were at on Election Day voting, or we were at 7,689, and now we're at, yeah, I think that's it.
All right. And of course, these are unofficial until they're canvassed. But
And the provisional ballots.
And the provisional ballots.
There
are
might be
counted.
400 provisional ballots.
There's not enough out there to change.
No,
the
Travis
outcome.
Griffith is going to be your next police chief.
That is right. And we congratulate Travis and his team. And that's a tremendous undertaking. It really is.
Yep, and to be a sergeant and not having all the, I mean, none of the old heads like the old police chief or the police chief himself. He beat the good old boys, so that's what he did. Congratulations to Rob Watkins too. He is the financier behind this whole campaign, and also Lane Carter. He's built himself a little mini political empire. So if you need something done, go to Chick-fil-A. I'm sure he will be happy to oblige. But anyway, congratulations to Travis Griffith and his entire team winning the police chief runoff. He'll be your next police chief. He won with 52.7% of the vote. Hernandez came in at 47.3. I don't know if we have very many votes left to come out. I haven't been told this is the final. But I know that before this came out, we had 676 more votes left. And at that time, I had a total vote count of 7689. If someone can do math for me, and now we have 8334. So I think that's it.
That's pretty close to it. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's call it a wrap.
All right.
We wrapped all the way until we voted an election. We elected a police chief here in San Angelo, Texas. Anyway, congratulations once again to Travis Griffith and team. Also, congratulations to Mike Hernandez, who ran a great campaign.
Yep.
He's an awesome officer, awesome guy, and I know that losing stinks. I know that personally, so I have a lot of sympathy. So
well, now the healing and reorganizing will begin after the votes are canvassed and the new chief sworn in.
That's right. Anyway, I'm Joe Hyde. To my left is senior political analyst for San Angelo Live. I got to get that right. I'm glad we're on the internet, not on broadcast TV.
There we go.
Anyway, once again, thank y'all for watching us. Thank you for tuning in. And don't forget, we have the live daily news every day at 4:30 right here on sanangelolive.com, sanangelolive.com on Facebook, on Twitter, X, and on YouTube. Until, when is this? Until Monday. We'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.